Hi guys, I thought today we'd look at This Town by Kygo. It's basically as hard as you want to make it really. It's a fairly simple finger picking pattern, and then I just did a little version there where I've added in a bit of that percussion because obviously it's Kygo, so it's got that beat in it, and if you can transfer that onto your guitar then it sounds really cool. So we'll go in and close up and look at that and split it into the kind of 3 ways that you can play it. As always, if you can like, subscribe, stuff, that really helps me out, so that would be great. And I've got new music coming very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. It comes out on the 2nd of June, so next week. Let's go for a close-up. Okay, so first things first, capo on the 6th fret, and we have 3 chords. We have C, D, and E minor. And then we're going to do an E minor over G, which is just putting your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the bass. And then we have this finger picking pattern that we'll talk about. So if we take the C, and for the finger picking pattern we're going to start with this kind of basic idea that the thumb plays the bottom 3 strings, index plays the G, middle plays the B, ring plays the E. And we're going to walk all the way down from the A string all the way through. Then you're going to come back to the middle, back to the index, and then back to the middle. So that second half is just all the way down, middle, index, middle. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and once more. Then we go to our D, which technically is D over A because we're going to play the A. Do exactly the same thing. E minor is slightly different. We miss out the index finger. So what we do is we come to the bass and we go thumb, 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 middle, ring, middle, index, middle. And then the second one, the second bar of E minor, you just start, we play the bottom 4 strings, and then we put our ring finger down and play the bottom 4 strings again. And that's it. Now what we can start adding in is some of this percussion. The first one to add in would be the slap flick, which if you don't know how to play, I've got a tutorial just focusing on how to do that. So I'll pop that in the description and you can just go straight to that link. But if we talk about where you would add it in, if we're playing this C, it would be, instead of playing your ring, you do the slap flick. Slap flick, then back with the middle, index, middle. So that's where it comes in. Same for the D, same for the E. This is where it becomes a little bit trickier on the second E minor because it should be here, but obviously we're going for that new bass. So this is where the second technique that we're going to bring in comes. If you find this technique really hard and you would just want that first one, you can just pick through. This other one, it's going to be a bit of a bounce with our thumb. It's like a heartbeat. It's quite tricky at first. What you're doing is you're slapping with the thumb and kind of aiming for the bottom 3 strings. And we're not going for we don't want too much of a slap, which is what happens when you stay on the strings for too long. We just want to bounce right off them, nice and gently. So you get this nice heartbeat effect. And that's where we're going to add in this. Now because of this technique I changed the fingers I use once I get to this bassy bit, which would be thumb and then use a finger each to do the rest of the picks. And then you can bring that in as the first beat of each one. Again, I'm changing my fingers, but you can keep the same thing if that's what works for you. If you have any questions on those techniques, just pop them in below. But yeah, watch the slap flick video. I go into a lot more detail on how to do that technique. And then that bounce, just get used to bouncing off and getting that heartbeat feel. It helps if you have your thumb pointing a bit more down rather than straight across. That tends to be quite slappy. But if you keep it pointing down, then it kind of rings out a bit more. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a little bit different to what we've been doing before, but if you like this kind of thing, obviously like it, and then give me a comment or a request and we can do similar sort of stuff where we're working out songs and putting them all onto one guitar, that kind of thing. And I'll see you next time.